possibly the most comfortable looking 270 kilo jerk we've ever seen, the USA's next big thing, and the World Championships entry list is finally with us. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of the Weightlifting House News Show. So as many of you know, the World Championships 2024 are starting on December 6th. They're going to be held in Manama, Bahrain. And some of the biggest names are back to win medals, set new world records, and set the record straight about who actually is the best weightlifter in their category. Obviously, you'll be able to watch the entire thing exclusively at Weightlifting House TV. I'll be doing the commentary along with the one and only Max Zeta, so we'll release more info about that. Also, it's worth saying Black Friday at Weightlifting House is now live, so head to the link in the description and go pick up the clothing and the accessories that are worn by world champions, Olympic champions, and world record holders. Okay, so let's take a look at the men first. I've whittled it down to a probably heavily biased 10 athletes who I'm really excited to see, and I think more importantly that you will all be excited to see at this upcoming World Champs. Rizki Jinyansir, the return of the Olympic champion at 73, and there was a lot of rumor going on about what category he was going to be competing in. We saw that he competed, I think he was technically in the 89s at the Indonesian Nationals recently, weighing 81.1, so he was never really going to be an 89, but many thought he would go up to 81. He's actually going to be competing at 73 again. In the 81s, Rahmat Owen Abdullah, his nemesis, the guy who really was pushing the category a lot over the last year, he's going to be competing at 81 instead. Now I'm excited because this 81 kilo category is heating up because we also have Ri Chong Song. So Ri Chong Song, the 81 North Korean who has tried a 210 kilo clean and jerk world record 3 or 4, maybe 5 times at this point. The last time he competed against Rahmat was in Qatar and he won. He hit a 209 kilo clean and jerk. He equaled that world record from Rahmat, which is just, unbelievable. And he forced Rahmat to take that 214 kilo attempt, which he cleaned and then missed the jerk. So that battle between those two will be staggering. The next athlete, and the reason I'm pleased to say his name, Karlos Nasar, is because between those four, those are the top 4 athletes when you rank them by Sinclair of all of the athletes during the last Olympic qualifying period. So we are not short-staffed on quality. Kianoshu Rostami, or should we call him Kianoshu Rostami, he's had a name change. I don't know if that's because he's going to be competing for Kosovo. Presumably that's it, but he's going to be competing as a 96. In the 102s, a lot of athletes to mention. Miso Hasona, who was in phenomenal shape at the World Cup in April. He got injured there, but we saw him do a 180, 225. So he got injured there. He turns up to the Olympics in great shape, bombs out. Now here he is in Bahrain. It's borders Qatar. I think he's going to put up something massive. If I had to pick, I would maybe go for him to be the person who's going to win this 102 category, but I don't know. We did a full podcast about this, by the way, so if you want to check out an hour of going through and talking through the start list, you can do that. We've also got Lesman Paredes from Bahrain competing in front of a sort of home crowd, so to speak. So expect big things from him, particularly in the snatch. In the 109s, we've got our uncle back, Ruslan Nuruddinov, back to show the young bucks how it's done. He's got a lot of competition. He's going to be going up against Garik Karapetyan, who's moved up to the 109s. Very excited for him. He's got Dadash Bailey. And then the supers, we're going to finally see a new gold medalist, a new super heavyweight world champion, Gore Manassian or Varazdat Lalian. Who's it going to be? My pick's on Gore. Let me know in the comments down below. Where's Lasher, you ask? We'll get to that. Let's talk about some of the top women also. In the 49s from North Korea, who, by the way, are they're going to absolutely dominate. Ri Song-gum, the best weightlifter in the world on the women's side. At 59, I'm excited to see Pei Zhenyi. Of course, she won the World Championships in 2022 in Colombia as a 64, weighing 59.6, I think. And she was 17 and she won. Finally, she gets to compete without Lo Shifang. There is a North Korean, Kim Il-gyong, I think is who it is. So it's going to be tough, but it'll be nice to see Pei Zhenyi there. Yeni Alvarez, the 2022 world champ, who looked phenomenal, might I add, at the Olympic Games. Also in that category, we've got Aniel Venegas, so that the 59s will be, as always, extremely tight. At 64, Reese Suk, world record holder, just was a little bit injured. You might remember from that North Korean video we did a few months ago, was injured to some degree at the World Cup, so I think she's going to come back in great shape. In the 71s, Olivia Reeves, Queen Reeves, excited to see how she does. If she wins, that means that of the last 5 World Championships, the USA will have won the 71 kilo category 3 times. Viber 2019, Awi in 2021, Reeves 2024. I'm putting pressure on her, but I think she can do it. The reason I think is because her two biggest rivals, Lao Guifang and Song Kukyang, have both gone up to 76s. So those are the next ones to mention. Lao Guifang, Song Kukyang, that battle at 76 will be insane. We're going to see world records. Also at 76, the return of Matty Rogers, who was cut down and returns to international competition. Sarah Ahmed at 81, the multiple-time world champion. And then the battle at the supers is going to be great. I don't really want to mention Li Yan from China because we haven't seen her compete internationally yet, but from what we know, her numbers are, they're Li Wenwen-esque, so I think she's the hot favorite. But Park Ye-jeong versus Emily Campbell versus Sun Young Hee. The fact that one of them is not going to podium is shocking. So I'm pumped for that. Some of the big names that are not going that I think are worth mentioning. Mihaela Kambe, Romania, and her teammate Loredana Toma, Romania. We don't have Nacy Dahomes. Actually, we don't have Angie Dahomes either, so the Dahomes sisters are out. Solfrid Kowanda is out. On the men's side, Hampton Morris, Antonino Pizzolato from the 89s, Akbar Jarayev, which is a shame. I would have loved to see him there, and Lasha Talakadze. He had an opportunity to win 8 straight World Championships, which I believe is something that nobody else has ever done, but he leaves it open for what's going to become an extremely exciting battle between Gore and Lalian. So I am extremely excited for this competition. We fly out on the 2nd of December. I'm taking a team of 8, which is crazy that Weightlifting House has built up to that level. So 8 of us flying out to cover this championships. We're going to get so many great behind the scenes documentaries, the live coverage, the commentary with me and Max. Every single session we'll be doing at weightliftinghouse.tv. So head to that link and make sure you've got your tickets because it's going to be insane. It starts December 6th to the 15th. All right, it's time now to start with some of the biggest lifts that we've seen over the last few weeks, and there have been some crazy ones, including a 270 kilo jerk. Again, we just saw one, didn't we? From, his name is blanking me, Ali Reza Yousefi. But we've had another one and it looked better. We're going to get there, but that's at the end. So we'll start off with a Chinese 61 called Wu Jiacheng, who isn't even the 61 competing at this World Championship. So he's not even the B team 61. He just hang snatched 145. It's a kilo below his teammate Li Fabin's world record. It's enormous. The Georgian Revas Davitadze, who's going to be competing at 96, having previously been in 89, returns from injury. He just snatched 180 and it was off blocks, but still. And he clean and jerked 210. Phenomenal stuff. Nurul Akmal, the super heavyweight from Indonesia, who we don't see a lot of her on social media. She doesn't post a lot, but she's a classic A-session athlete in the super heavyweights, really top athlete, lifted at the Olympic Games. She just posted a very nice, very smooth, easy looking 140 kilo clean and jerk. Next up, I'm going to bring up a bit of a fiery battle here. We have Antonino Pizzolato and Marin Robu. Now, Nino Pizzolato just posted a 290 kilo back squat. I imagine that this was prior to the Olympic Games that he hit this. I'm not sure. But then we had, in response to that, our boy Marin Robu from Moldova. In his 7mm heavy duty Weightlifting House knee sleeves, of course, which are on offer right now at weightliftinghouse.com for the Black Friday sale, he posted a 270 kilo double and then a 290 kilo single. I mean, 290 from Robu. You just wouldn't expect it. He's one of those athletes who he's continued to get better and better. He looked phenomenal in Sofia at the European Championships. And then at the Olympic Games, it was just like, what on earth? How have you, really? Robu was 175, 210? But of course, there's a lot of beef between him and Antonino Pizzolato. We'll go into what's going on with the lawsuit in another video. Don't worry, Nino himself is not being sued, but Robu and his federation are taking legal action for what happened at the Olympic Games. If you don't remember, Nino pressed out a lift, it got given. It probably shouldn't have been given, let's be honest. But he got the medal and Marin Robu didn't. So that's what that was about. Let's not stick with the 89s, let's go to the 96s. Kianoshu Rostami, the 2016 Olympic champion, the guy who has told me many times that he's made lifts much heavier than he actually has, to see if I'll believe him. The jokester, the prankster himself, just posted a 170 kilo snatch. And we're going to see him at this World Championships in Bahrain. The last time we saw him, I believe, was in Jinju at the 2023 Asian Championships. So it's been a year and a half. It's going to be exciting to see the man return. And I think he's one of, and if there's anybody else, let me know. I think he's one of 2 men who extend really back to that old era. I'm talking the pre-Shi Ziyong, pre-Tian Tao. We're talking 2009, 10, 11 era of weightlifting, a glory age in many ways. I think it's Kianush and Ruslan, Uncle Ruz. Yeah, Uncle Russ. Let's call him Uncle Russ. Ramiro Ramora looks phenomenal. 260 kilos for a back squat triple. He lifted tremendously well at the Olympic Games. Went up to 102, of course, looked very strong. He's now cutting down to the 96s for this World Champs. He'll be competing for the World Refugee Team, the WRT, as their three-letter country code. He looks great. 260 triple, rocking the weightlifting house 90s range as well, which is always good to see. So shout out to Miro for that. Two athletes from Italy, the two Giulias, Giulia Imperio, 49 kilo athlete. She just posted an 85 kilo snatch, which is what she made at the 2023 World Championships. It's basically right at the top level of what she's capable of. And yet, she's not going to this year's World Championships. I don't know why. It's strange. Her teammate, Miserendino, Giulia, who was cut down to 64 kilos, is going to be competing at this World Championships and looks in good shape. Of course, we just saw her hit was it 103 or 102 that she did at the European Under-23s? Well, she just hit a 123 kilo clean and jerk, which at 64 is very solid. So clearly the weight loss has not had too much of an impact on her. Next, I think we have to cover this guy because Kolbi Ferguson, have you seen him? USA 109. I knew nothing of this guy. I don't even think he has a social media presence, but he's going to be competing at the World Championships. He just competed at a local competition as a 109 and he clean and jerked 227 kilos. That is 500 pounds. That is 4 kilos over Wes Kitz's national record of 223. I know that he might not get white lights is what I'm trying to say at an international competition with that lift, but how crazy is that? It equals the gold medal winning clean and jerk from the World Championships last year by Uncle Russ. So the heaviest clean and jerk ever by an American is 237.5, Shane Hammond. Shane probably weighed not far off 400 pounds, 180 kilos at that point. And this is 10 kilos less. And he's 21 or 22 years old. And he's been Olympic weightlifting for 2 years. I mean, absolute freak of an athlete. Can't wait to see how he does at the World Championships this year. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. All right, a few more athletes. Karlos Nasar, he just competed at the Bundesliga. When I was out with him, we were talking about the training that he had coming up before the the World Championships. He mentioned this as the one competition he was going to have to fly out to. And I did not think he was going to be in this good a shape, honestly, by this point. He snatched 180 kilos and he clean and jerked 220. Now, bear in mind, when we were with him filming, we've got such a great documentary to come out, but that'll be 2025, like the full deep one where we really go into his life and everything. It's unbelievable. He made the 176 competing against Nate, and then he missed 178, and that was the most we saw him attempt. So the fact that he made the 180, but the 220 I think looks shockingly easy. He did a 200 power clean with us. He cleaned 210. I didn't think he even jerked it. No, I don't think he tried. It's not that he missed, but I don't think he tried. To be back at 400, 4 kilos more than any other 89 has done, 4 kilos below his own world record. I mean, what can he do? Realistically, what can he do? What do you think he'll do? If he makes his lifts, let's be real, he'll do a 183 snatch for the world record. And then in the clean and jerk, he would only need 222 to get a new world record total. 225? I mean, that might be a bit much. But he's done 180, 224, and he's done 181. I don't know. I think 405 total. I mean, when he found out, I remember telling him that he didn't have as good a Sinclair as Rizky, and that if he'd have just taken his 6th attempt at the Olympics, he would have. He was not happy about that. So he might go, and I think he needs 408 to do that. So hopefully I've lit a fire under him and he's going to do the 183, 225. We'll have to wait and see. Moving on, we now have some big jerks. Garik Karapetyan, 230 kilos. I mean, in competition, he hasn't even clean and jerked 220 yet. He's a phenomenal snatcher, the Armenian. Competing up at 109 for this upcoming World Championships. 230 is huge. He DM'd, well, he didn't even DM like me or Weightlifting House. He DM'd Nick, who does all of our like product giveaways and everything, and designed some amazing clothes, and a whole lot more, of course. But he DM'd him just to say, look at this 230, so that was good. He'll be going up against Uncle Russ, Ruslan Nuruddinov, who hit 230 kilos in the jerk also, but he did it for a double. I mean, it's apples and oranges, isn't it? You cannot compare Garik's clean and jerk to Ruslan's clean and jerk. Ruslan is one of the best of all time. I mean, he's clean and jerk, what, 239? 240? 238. I actually am struggling to remember exactly what he's clean and jerked. But he's clean and jerked so much. He's phenomenal. Multiple time world champion. So you just can't quite compare. But even so, that battle will be good. Garik will probably have the snatch and the lead in the snatch. And then finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. Another, ladies and gentlemen, 270 kilo jerk. I think we've seen 4 or 5 270 jerks in the last 3 or 4 years now. They're becoming more and more regular. We hadn't seen any in, 15 years. And then we've seen Lasha do it. We've seen Gore do it. We've seen Lalian do it. Alireza Yousefi do it. And I believe there's somebody else. But this one from Lalian, I mean, this is something else. When Alireza Yousefi did it, he didn't really bring his feet back together. He didn't really hold it. But this one from Lalian, it's what you expect when you can clean and jerk 255 in competition. His strict pressing, you know, I've seen him do seated strict press with 130. He's sat like this. He just manhandles up a 130, and then he's just wrapping it out. So it's massive. Is it the best ever? I'm not sure. It might be. It's certainly up there. Don't forget, Black Friday at Weightlifting House runs until the 3rd of December. The World Championships then starts on the 6th. So head to weightliftinghouse.com, check out some incredible deals. We've got huge discounts. You can get belts, sleeves, everything for free in our buy any 2 get 1 free deal, plus discounts on top of that. Barbells are 25% off, which is insane, plus free shipping. It's like a saving of close to $200 in total off a barbell. So yeah, head to the link down below, and we'll see you at the World Champs.